All right, today we are diving into a project that, has been building in the shadows for years and is now suddenly making some serious waves. We're talking about Pi Network. It really looks like it's making the jump from just a mobile app to a real, traded crypto asset.
Oh, absolutely. And the market is definitely taking notice. The data we're about to look at shows a pretty major shift is happening right now.
So, let's just kick things off with the big question right here on the slide. After all this time, is Pi Network finally having its big breakthrough moment on the world stage?
Well, the numbers are pretty hard to ignore. I mean, it's been in its own little bubble for a long time, but the data we're seeing now suggests that's all changing, and changing fast.
Hang on a sec, a 2x increase? Are you telling me the value has actually doubled since just the end of 2025? That's exactly right. We're looking at a huge surge here. And this isn't just some random blip on the chart. There are some real fundamental reasons for this momentum, so let's get into it. So first up, let's talk about the price action itself, or as the title here calls it, the awakening of Pi Network. This is not a random spike. It's really the outcome of a long-term plan and a big shift in how the market sees this project.
Okay, so there's a real story behind the numbers.
Exactly. And what's really fascinating here is just how steady this uptrend has been. If you look at the chart, you can see the price built a really solid foundation around 10 cents late last year, and has just been climbing ever since. This is what healthy, organic growth looks like, not some flash-in-the-pan pump.
Right, so those consistent higher lows, that's a super positive sign for anyone watching this chart.
Okay, so anytime a chart starts looking this good, you start hearing all this technical jargon flying around, support, resistance. Can you just break that down for us? What are the actual price levels we should be paying attention to?
For sure. Just think of them as invisible floors and ceilings that the price is kind of bouncing between. For Pi right now, the two numbers that matter most are 20 cents on the downside and 30 cents on the upside. These levels really tell the story of the battle between the buyers and sellers. And this slide really nails the concept. Support, on the left, that's your floor. It's like a safety net where buyers tend to jump in and hold the price up. And then resistance, on the right, that's the ceiling. That's where sellers often start to cash out, and it can stop the price from climbing higher. Understanding this whole tug-of-war is how you start to figure out where the price could go next.
Which brings us to this critical number right here, 20 cents. This is the level that analysts have their eyes glued to. They see it as the new floor for the price. So, as long as we stay above that, the bulls are basically still in charge. Precisely. It's the line in the sand. If it drops below that, it might signal a change in momentum. But as long as it holds, the positive trend is still very much in play.
Got it. So if that 20-cent floor holds strong, what's the ceiling we're all hoping it'll smash through?
That would be the 30-cent mark. I mean, breaking through that resistance would be a massive win, both technically and psychologically. It would signal to everyone that this rally could have a lot more gas in the tank.
But, these price charts don't just happen in a bubble. What's the real-world event that's actually driving all of this action right now? That's a great question, and a huge piece of this puzzle is all about getting more access and, frankly, more legitimacy, and that comes from the big exchanges. And this is the big one. Getting listed on a major regulated exchange like Kraken is an absolute game changer. For years, Pi was something you just mined on your phone. Now, it's a real asset you can trade on a platform that millions of people trust.
So it's not just about more people being able to buy it, it's a huge stamp of approval.
Exactly. It's a massive validation for the whole project.
And you can see the direct result right here on this chart. Just look at that explosion in liquidity, which is just a fancy word for the amount of money flowing in and out, making it easy to trade. Right at the start of 2026, it lines up perfectly with these new listings.
And more liquidity is always what you want to see, right?
It's the lifeblood of any healthy market. It creates stability, and it's what attracts the really big investors.
So to kind of wrap it all up, these major exchange listings on places like Kraken, OKX, and Gate.io are just firing on all cylinders. They're delivering three massive benefits, which are more liquidity, way more visibility in the market, and a super easy on-ramp for totally new investors to get in the game. You got it. It's the perfect recipe for growth.
Okay, but all this trading action and these big exchange listings, that's all the new stuff. What about the foundation? Who are the people who've been here from day one and actually got Pi Network to this point?
That would be the pioneers. That's what Pi Network calls its original user base. And that's a huge part of what makes this project so different. This isn't something that just launched last week with a bunch of hype. They spent years building this incredible, dedicated community all over the world, one person at a time. That creates this really powerful grassroots support system.
And the scale here is just mind-blowing. This says over 60 million people?
It's absolutely massive. And think about that network effect. You have this enormous built-in community that's been involved for years. They all have a real stake in seeing this thing succeed.
And it's not like they're all in one place. We're talking about over 190 countries.
Which pretty much makes it one of the most geographically decentralized projects in the world. That kind of global reach is a huge asset, not just for future growth, but for the overall strength and resilience of the network itself.
Okay, so let's tie this all together. We've got a price chart that's looking really strong. We have major exchanges bringing in new money and legitimacy, and we have this massive, loyal global community behind it. So what does this all mean for the future of Pi as it goes from just a little app to a real player in the digital economy?
Well, this timeline really puts it all into context. The excitement we're seeing right now is no accident. It's the result of a very deliberate, years-long plan. Phase 1 was all about getting Pi into people's hands and building that community. Phase 2 was the enclosed mainnet, where they tested everything out in a walled garden. And now, in 2026, we're finally in Phase 3, open trading on the global market.
Okay, but it can't all be sunshine and rainbows. What are the potential speed bumps here? What are the risks?
And it's so important to have a balanced view. The opportunities are clear. More exchanges will probably list it, the ecosystem will grow, and you have that giant user base, but the risks are very real too. We should expect some wild price swings. There's a huge supply of tokens that could create selling pressure as early miners decide to cash out. And of course, the regulatory picture for all of crypto is still a big question mark.
So when you boil it all down, the final takeaway is pretty simple. Pi Network has officially graduated from being just an experimental app on your phone.
Exactly. It has evolved. And like the quote says, it's now a real participant in the global crypto economy. The question isn't if it would ever get to the main stage anymore. The question now is, what kind of impact is it going to make now that it's finally here?